on page 9. And here, the consciousness that has in-breath as its object is one. The consciousness that has out-breath as its object is another. And the consciousness that the sight as its object is another. For the meditation subject reaches neither absorption nor even access in one who has not gone these three things, but it reaches access and also absorption in one who has got these three things. And when the sight has appeared in this way, the bhikkhu should go to the teacher and tell him, blah blah blah. Then he should fix his mind on the same sight, and so from now on his development proceeds by way of fixing, for this is said by the ancient, fixing his mind upon the sight and putting away extraneous aspects. The wise anchor his mind upon the breathing in and out. Anyway, now you look at the Pali term, okay? The problem is sometimes when we translate the word sight, we always are confused what is a sight, what is the word sight. But when you look at the Pali, nimitte mean in the Pali, when you look at the Pali, nimitte tappayang, cittang nadakarang, vibhavayang. Anyway, the word nimitte means in the nimitta, okay, in the nimitta or on the nimitta, if you translate in English. Tappayang means you place what? Place on the nimitta. Cittang, the mind place on the nimitta. Get it now? Okay. And the word nadakarang vibhavayang. Vibhava means away. The away means you are not associate. Dissociate your nara akara. Nara akara means dissociate your mental kind of action, mental mind action. Tiro. Where's the English? The Pali. Yeah, the next page. Tiro sasasa pasase sakang chitang libandati. Okay. Tiro means a very wise person. Not necessarily enlightened people, it just means a wise person. Tiro, so this wise person, what he will be capable to do what? Sakang asasa pasase jitang nibandati. Mean this wise person can use the mind to bind the in-breath and out-breath. Okay. This actually is a very famous kind of ancient verses. You have to understand in tradition, because lots of things. For example, in the old day, in order for you want to commit to the memory, the very important part is always put in the verses, and then you can keep it. You can pass down from one generation to another generation. Especially for the what we call the Drustandika tradition, 就是中文叫譬喻诗. I mean, this is like especially when you want to teach a normal folk, like farmers, a lot of people, you cannot give a lot huge difficult text. So Dhammadipa was actually been introduced in those days. Why it become popular? Because you could tell story, you could have beautiful verses for them. And these farmers and lots of normal people in those days loved those ideas. You're not give them whole text. They will get confused. 就是我们中文叫譬喻诗嘛，其实法居经就是从譬喻诗过来的。So we know a famous person called Asvakosa 马明菩萨，他就是像譬喻诗这一类的就是很会讲寄颂，很会讲故事Anyway, so here in other thing, what does it mean in these verses? To conclude something, when you reach to the fourth stage of the fixing stage, that when the nimitta appear, so your consciousness kind of like this. That's why you say, I need to put better English first. So when the sight has appeared, the bhikkhu basically he should fix his mind on the same side, and so from now he develop process by way of fixing. In other words, mean when the sight appear, you are no more focus your mind on the touching point, but then you focus on the sight. Okay? Get it now? But however, even though you focus on the side, but he used and the verses conclude like, and a wise person, so actually he bind his mind with in-breath and out-breath. Okay? In other words, maybe this is a verses, but I just want to describe that. And after when the sign appear, and when you place, you don't focus here anymore, you just place your mind on the sign, what we call the Patipakalimita, the really, the side, anyway, what is that, learning side, counterpart side, the counterpart side, and you also, but still your in-breath and out-breath, Maybe occasionally, when I say occasionally, you don't deliberately do that, but you definitely know you're breathing. So that's mean by this, that kind of like you kind of like reach the, actually to be in a strict sense, when you say fixing mean the sign appear, your mind could place it on it, called fixing, okay? And let's just go further first, and then you can ask question later. And then the next one we say, establishing mindfulness in front of him. Parimukham sati upatapetva. So what does it mean by placing the mindfulness in front of him? Okay. It means having placed tapatitva, having placed mindfulness facing the meditation subject. Kamattana abhimukhan. Okay. Because why we have to define this term. If you read almost a lot of Buddhist meditation texts, the Buddhist texts, always Buddha say, when you do meditation, afterward you have to parimukham, you have to place, you have to establish the mindfulness in front. A lot of people have a different understanding what does it mean. Okay, some say, in front mean just a simile, just a saying that mean you meditate. And here I want to define, in the sutra always mentioned, here it will actually mean establishing what 就是我们面质面相，我们一般都会看中文它用一个翻译叫面相或者面质，质就是直饭的质。其实这个质很多人有不同解释哈。So here they define the term establishing mindfulness in front of him mean having placed a mindfulness facing the meditation subject. Okay. So or you could understand it another way, alternately from the other text called Paticcasamuppittavagga say. Pari mean in the sense of control, mean you can control well. Mukha mean mouth, has a sense of outlet. Sati has a sense of establishment, and this is why Parimukha Sati mean it's said. Okay, but basically mean you can understand when you say it's Parimukha 面子哈 even the word mukha 就是一个嘴的意思哈 So it's just wanted to say that you have a good sense of how to say, have the sense of your mindfulness, you're able to use your mindfulness to be a kind of like, you could place your you could take your mindfulness on a good subject, something like that. That subject that you're well comprehended, something like this. So it's called parimukha. Okay, that's why you can understand in two ways. Anyway, this is for people who study detail, so just unless you have a discussion about this term. Now, when we look at the other one, the next paragraph, then he should not give an attention to the sight as to its color or review it as to its characteristic. What does it mean? Like people told me, I meditate. Maybe you see, sometimes it becomes like a milky white color, sometimes it's just transparent. But that depends on how you focus, how your focus is about. When I say how your focus is about, mean when the sight appear, what I mean by the counterpart sight. What I mean by the counterpart sight mean it say no shape, no color, right? But then of course when sometimes your mind is a little bit not that clean, in other words, mean your focus is not that perfectly well, but you're still the sight is still there. then it could be like in a color, okay, like what especially would be white color or milky white color. But okay, maybe best to say the best one is always transparent, no color, no shape. But when it becomes a shape and color, somehow you know your mind is still, hindrances are still a little bit there, okay? And here he want to mention, you must understand the sign. You should not pay the attention to the sign when there's a color, okay? I mean, of course, lots of people look at that. Even though not like the beginning, before the sign appear, you have the color, that's different thing. I'm talking about, I'm addressing the issue is when the sign appear, when you have experienced no color already, but you're doing quite well. But sometimes even color appear too, because because your idea comes up and then it appear. And then don't notice on that. And also do not, try to not pay attention on that. And also, and do not review it as to its characteristic. In other words, if you do insight meditation, it's different. You have to look at see its impermanence, it's changing, or you could see it like, or maybe you could see the different change of color, but don't do that. Don't review it, don't, why I say so many don't. Do not just think, oh, now it's red, oh, now it's blue, or now it's, it is bigger, or now it's smaller, or now it's shallow, or now it's changing, or now it's, don't do that, okay? So this is what you suggest you very well, okay? And anyway, if you have a question, ask later. Now let's read that first. Then, guarding it thus, you have to guard that sign. Guard it. Just guarding it thus. He should make it grow and improve it, repeat attention, and he should practice the tenfold skill in absorption and bring about evenness of energy as he strives thus. Fourfold and fivefold jhana is achieved by him on the same side in the same way as described under the earth kasina. Okay, generally I wanted to say, what you have to learn is that when the sign appear, you must first just learn, guard it, okay? Just protect it, guard it, just guard the sign. And because what you want to say, once you guard it, then you could start to see, you can achieve, after that you will achieve the jhana. So that's means by, they say that this, what we call this tenfold skill in absorption, and then a fourfold jhana, okay? I need to complicate it, but then first learn the fourfold jhana. Don't think about the tenfold absorption. So then you will, because of your side is well guarded, then you can learn, or you maybe put in the modern term, you will learn how to enter, how to uplift your spirituality, your mind, even to the jhana. Okay, it's complete mental. Okay, that's right. Now maybe your question is that why cannot I see the color? As I say, because now what your job to do is to guard the sign. Okay. Or if you only when you well guard the sign, then you can learn further. So, okay, and this actually is the most difficult part. I'm not saying difficult part. This is the part which mostly people don't talk about. Okay, and that's but that's really important for people who are really well know the jhana. And let's move on the other page first. The other paper, the handouts. The handouts on the page 4. So you have to understand when you address the concentration, there are two kinds of concentration. So we're looking at the last paragraph. Did I say that already? No, right. Now concentration is of two kinds. That is to say, access concentration and absorption concentration. I'm sorry, you have to learn so many terms. There's a learning sign, a counterpart sign, and counterpart sign is no color, no shape, okay? And then blah, blah, blah. I don't know what else you need to learn. Now, also they have to learn when we say samadhi or concentration, then you have two kinds of concentration. Actually, there are more than that. Just learn that two first, okay? Yes?
Before you continue, so before you guard, you fix. You do fixing and then you guard. Is that correct?
You can ask that question a bit later, and then let me finish the two concentration, because I will maybe deal with your question already. So now concentration has two kinds, that is to say access concentration or absorption concentration. And then the mind becomes concentrated in two ways, that is on the plans of access and on the plans of obtainment. So he just wanted to tell you, actually, you must also understand there are two kinds of concentration. In Pali it's called Upachara Samadhi. Samadhi 就是三昧, 三摩地嘛, Another one is called Appana Samadhi, 就是安止定, 就是安止三昧, 或者是叫做 I suddenly cannot remember. There are lots of Chinese translation. Okay, so sometimes in Chinese when you say Upachara Samadhi, you can also translate as 味道地定, in Chinese. 味道地的定. Okay. So why? Basically, I mean in this, there are two kinds of concentration. Just remember, one is called access, one is called absorption. Okay. When you understand it mean there's an access and absorption, you must understand mean somebody reach to a state of absorption or reach to a state of access. Get it now? Okay. But here translate as a plan, okay. So that's why 地这个字啊，我们不是说味道地定的地哦，比如说你从医学四柱里面谈的就是16地啊，这个地啊 ，it mean the mental state on that kind of state， 就是那种状态 on the state， 就是这样讲，bhumi 啊。Herein, the mind becomes concentrated on the plan of access by the abandonment of hindrance and the plan of obtainment by the manifestation of the jhana factors. What does it mean? Do you know what it's talking about? It means actually, even if you are meditate on the in-breath and out-breath, up to the point that the nimitta will appear, okay? We described that already. I mean, nimitta it's very, very comfortable kind of thing, right? And it's transparent, no shape, no color. So, but somebody, even if they are on that stage, they could have two kind of feeling. One, it could be actually you're on the stage of access concentration, or you can be on the stage of absorption concentration. Okay, get it now? When you're in the access concentration, that the word used here say by abandoning of the hindrances. Okay, why you are in access concentration? Because you abandon of the hindrances. I'm going to say what are the hindrances later. And then why you say they are on the plan of obtainment? Because because you could see there's a manifestation of jhana factors. In other words, I knew that because I knew some our people practitioner, they have the experience, or even in the long past, even now, whatever. So sometimes when you meditate, when you just observe, maybe after a few days you didn't meditate for a long time. Not that you don't meditate well, maybe best time. When you're back to the nimitta appear, sometimes you feel when you're there, you can have this feeling. You can have that kind of feeling. Almost like you're moving, but you're not moving, but you feel that. Almost like you're flying somehow, okay? And sometimes you don't, but the nimitta is still there. Sometimes you just feel very nice. The thought, you may have some thought comes to you, but it doesn't disturb you. You kind of like can separate the two things. So this is why I want to describe you could in two both experience, or what we call di. I mean, you could mean the plan or the state. I like to translate as a state. 中文 usually, because literally translate from the Sanskrit mean bhumi, mean the D. But either you are in this kind of D or like a D, whether in this kind of state or that state. That state is wired like that because you have put off 5 hindrances. You feel very nice. The thought even comes to you, it will not bothering you. The other one, there's no thought comes to you, but you somehow feel something very different. So that's what I mean. Even you could say in the fixing point, when the nimitta appear, I'm talking about when the nimitta appear, first you need to know how to guard the side too. This is just a process to say that in a process way. But for experience, sometimes you may be just, oh, why I just feel like that. Some people just feel very calm, like nice. Get it now? So you want to expand, or even not just because you're a beginner, but even afterward also, sometimes you could be have to. In other words, mean one, you start to can pick up some of the jhana factors. Sometimes you can pick up the jhana factor. Sometimes you just there because that's why it called access concentration, because you're there because the 5 hindrances has been moved forward, been removed. Okay. Let me just finish the 5 hindrances also. So what are these 5 hindrances? I didn't put it here, sorry, because I'm sorry, because I've been talking this for a long time. I just thought I don't need to put the 5 hindrances. But I still have to say, it's very important. That means you are clinging. If you have a pen, you can write down later yourself. The 5 hindrances mean you're clinging to the sense pleasure. For example, you want to sit very comfortable. I want to lie there nicely. Those kind of things that you want your eyes, your ears, your tongue must have those things to make you feel nice. That will be removed. Okay, so you're purely just based on your mind. You could say that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you so much. I did put it on the on my what you call the menu. Yeah, not the content, the menu on page. Page 3. Thank you so much. Yeah, page 3. Yeah. On the number 9, avoiding the 5 hindrances, right? So the sense desire, craving for the people, events, bodily enjoyment. The second, hatred, greed, and annoying from people, even the bodily sensation. You don't get anger because of people or because of bodily sensation. Like a lot of people, if they start to find very difficult, is because they think, oh, why my leg is pain? Then they get annoyed actually. Even though it's a very small annoy, that would not help you. That definitely the nimitta will not be there. Okay. If you complain about that, definitely I'm sure you don't have nimitta. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, because that's annoying. No, you don't. But of course, you maybe still feel pain. You don't complain. You just know that's how it is. When you sit long, it's pain is there. But you don't get anger. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The third is the sleepiness and drowsiness, and then the remorse and agitation. Remorse and agitation. Yeah. Basic important is being regret and mind unsettling in the thinking of the past and future. Please remember, it's very important. The most important thing about the fourth one is not because you think here and there. It's because you don't like your thinking here and there. Okay. So that means you regret about that. You get very upset about that. Number 4 is doubt. Doubt is because people they doubt. For example, people do not know the path, how to practice. They actually have doubt. Where I am now, what I'm doing now, like that. But once, for example, when you have an experience of nimitta, it's like this, clearly. Maybe you cannot make it now. Once you have experience, you definitely know it's there. It's just only I cannot settle down something, So, but what I want to say is that just now what we read the statement is saying that why sometimes you only just experience a limited there, you just experience very calm because you are in the access concentration. Just simply you remove the 5 hindrances. Okay. Nimitta appears because you remove 5 hindrances. How that 5 hindrances have been removed? You are not deliberately look at them. Okay. You are because still having the focus point, the touching. Okay. And in breath and out breath. And other thing is, then why sometimes some people experience something very different, not just feel like clean, nice, kind of like, anyway, how to say, being unique kind of feeling, because you actually pick up the jhana factors, okay? That the jhana factors will be the first jhana factors. But normally, even though you are like that, sometimes we describe this mean not necessarily you are really in the deep, you are in the jhana, but you pick up the jhana factors already. Okay? So that's what they mean by this. Okay? All right, now let me describe what are these jhana factors. Let me just say first, look at, let me finish this passage yet, okay? Number 4 and then number 5. Okay, on the number 5, page number 5, in the additional handouts, he say the difference between the two kinds of concentration is this: the factors are not strong in access. It is because they are not strong that when access has arisen, the mind now makes the sight its object and now re-enters the life continuum, just as when a young child is lifted up and stood on his feet, it repeatedly falls down on the ground. But the factors are strong in absorption. It is because they are strong that when absorption concentration has arisen, the mind, having once interrupted the flow of life continuum, carries on with a stream of profitable impulsion for a whole night and for a whole day, just as a healthy man, after rising from the seat, could stand for the whole day. Okay, Now, you someone can understand why this ancient language is very difficult to understand, what they are actually talking about. There's a little bit about the kid will fall down, and then sometimes the mind will be, because of the mind still focus on the sight, and they fall into the life continuum. Okay. If the system is strong, just like somebody strong, they can sit and they can stand anytime, right? They can walk anytime. Come on, what it is. Some people do have this experience when they started to have the sight, for example, and then they start to observe the sight, and somehow, if the focus is not very strong, especially for the beginner, and then somehow they feel like there was a time they kind of like fall asleep. They don't know what happened. They don't know. They just don't know. There are lots of people telling me that already. Like, I was observing the sign, and I know I in breath and out breath, but somehow, then after when I finish, 2 hours gone, or 1 hour gone. That's like I hit the gone. 45 minutes gone. 45 minutes? I thought it just only. But he also thought, did I sleep? But it's not like sleeping. Looks like I'm sleeping. So that's what I want to say. When the absorption is not very strong, so it could sometimes, even though you have the sight with you, but then you might be fall into life continuum. It's called bhavanga, okay? But you don't have to know this term. It's very difficult to explain a lot, but just know that it could be like somehow like you fall asleep. But you're not, but it's just like that, okay? And when the sight is strong, and then when you are, the substance becomes stronger, you start to feel something. That is, you start to feel almost like you have, as I say, the jhana factors. Just remember the word jhana, okay? I cannot translate that in English. The jhana factors will be, it can manifest to you, comes to you. Okay. What are these jhana factors? Look at the next paragraph. At this point, quite secluded from sense desire, secluded from profitable things, he entered upon the dwells in the first jhana, which is accompanied by applying and sustained thought with joy and happiness born of seclusion, and so he has attained the first jhana, which abandons 5 factors, possesses 5 factors, is good in 3 ways, possesses 10 characteristics of the. Anyway, we are learning this because I don't want to use Earth Kasina. But anyway, I know a lot of looks like what to call riddle. A lot of riddle. You need to know how to solve the riddle, then you get an answer. I didn't put it here because I also thought that everybody know, but I think it's not necessarily true. So if you are, when that kind of five hindrances has been removed, okay, and all the unprofitable, 我们中文叫不善法, so will actually away, you're away from the unprofitable things. Here you could say unwholesome thing. And then he enter different thing, kind of like, you are on a mud, on a muddy place. You just remove yourself from a muddy place, and then you're on the land, like you clean your body. Okay, so then when you remove there and you up to another place, and there were 5 factors up there. What are these 5 factors? They have the term here. One is called applied. Second is called sustained. The third is called joys. The fourth is called happiness. Okay? The fifth one he didn't mention here. Let me see. Did I put a party? Let me just see. Piti, Patana, Jhana, oh, here he didn't mention. It's okay. Usually the fifth means focus. Okay. So in Pali it's called Savitakan, Savicharan, Piti, Sukhan. Okay. Okay. Piti and Sukhan, there are 4 things. So you will experience the 5 things, but usually you only feel more when you are in that kind of moment. The first jhana moment, it's the first 2. That the vitaka, vichara, Chinese translate as 有觉有观, but sometimes translate as 有寻有视, 寻视, but later on, mostly, but there are some exceptions. Mostly Chinese still translate 有觉有观, either 有寻有视. And Vitaka, Vichara, or in English word, applied thought and sustained thought. Okay, applied thought and sustained thought. So what does it mean? It means, the word apply means you will get a track, kind of like you would look at, you will apply your mind on the object. What is the object? The sign. Okay. That's the reason why you feel like your mind is being pulled over there. Okay, your mind is just like, anyway, being pulled that over that side. So what is called sustain? So like, just like somebody pulling you, like you get attracted by a person. That person wanted you get attracted. So you pull that person. And then you kind of like resist. It's not resist. Actually, somehow like that. You feel like you just want to know more. When you want to know more, you are not going to, but like, you are not going to bang on that person. You are kind of like you want to have a distance. So that's what it called investigate. So because this is purely mental state, purely mental. It's nothing to do with physical. So that's 为什么讲所以呢？英文 Due to that reasons, the languages I must learn this alien language now. Arrival, the movie, fun movie. So if you look at it, you will see the movie Arrival. So they will talk to the alien. They have a most sophisticated language. I think that is enough. I think that's the best language I ever know. Anyway, so you get where I was. Not alien now, okay?
Sustain.
I know. The sustain is it kind of like, if you want to know something, even though you are interested, let's say you saw beautiful pictures, right? You will go ahead and look at it. But sometimes you will find you cannot just look like that. You have to just turn back a little bit like this, right? And in order to understand the picture. I'm talking about like suddenly you saw something you really love. You know what you do? You will shoot, right? And then you find, hey, that's too much. You go backward a little bit like that. So since the meditation is complete mental, your mind is become like that. That's why you definitely understand your mind very well. How we can get attracted to things. That's how the mind works. That's why it's called vitaka, vichara, 就是行跟事. So that because it's purely mental, okay. Not only this too, and you also feel piti sukha, okay. Basically, you also feel that's Chinese translate 喜跟乐 but please remember some other translator didn't translate the same way. Okay, sometimes they translate 乐跟喜 they overturn the word. I mean, this is the term is just a term. Just want to say what is meant by pity. The 喜 mean you feel happy. Okay, 乐 you feel kind of sweetness there. Okay, get it now? Something like that. 乐就是一种乐 it's a little bit more subtle. Happy is a little bit more like nice like that. But the sukha it's more subtle, but it's very sweet, very wonderful, something like that. So there are 4 kind of things will be there. Usually you only notice more the mind. It is all about mind. The mind is just pulling and back. That's why you will feel like that. Kind of like a bird flying. Like that. So this is mean the vitaka. Pulling back mean the vichara. Mean, okay, one is mean a pride thought, one is a stand thought. Every time when that sign is there, every time when you are in that moment, you are always like this. There's no changing, okay? That's why the jhana is important. Is sometimes when you feel not happy, you enter there and come up, you're nice, okay? You know? But that's the reason why people who have jhana usually are happy person. If you look at people really not happy, it's impossible to have jhana. Because jhana is always makes you, it's almost like every time when you feel your spirit is not uplifted, you can enter something who have a beautifying manicure. What you call manicure? 女孩子最喜欢的somebody, you know, do your hair style nice and you feel up, oh, wonderful like that. So that's so. Of course, it's not only for that purpose, but definitely for the mood, it will give you that mood. They always feel very, very, you know, that's the understanding of the jhana. And now I'm sure now this still we are talking actually within fixing process. Okay, and you could say the established. That's why some people like to translate as fixing. Some people like to translate that as establishing because mean it's a big subject there. You know, when the mind focus, sign appear, and what kind of sign appear, and what sort of sign that is stable, and then you place your mind on the sign. Even though you place your mind on the sign, you need to guard the sign. Even though you guard the sign, and then you also actually sometimes these 2 things could happen to you at the moment. Or even actually I could say trading, if you add one more. The other thing could be sometimes you feel like you fall asleep. But then you know you are not asleep, you're just awake and you know, did I sleep? So, but you must understand if that when you come to fall asleep state, it means actually your concentration is not quite stable. You're like a kid, just walk field and just fall. Walk a little bit because start to learn walking. The muscle of the leg of the little baby is not strong enough to walk too long. But then, okay, maybe the question how you should develop it more is no, just guard the side along and be, you know, it take a little time and then it will become strong, okay? And when it becomes strong, you generally either you feel the first one or the second one, that what we call the asset concentration or the absorption concentration, okay? I know that was sometimes you might have experienced a little bit there already in the past, but the past is past, okay? And then, if you're really serious about Buddhist way of meditation in a really Buddhist system, then you have to make sure every time you could do that. So, but of course, you know what I mean by that, okay? All right, I will just give some time for you guys to ask questions. Any question? So at least I haven't, yes.
Well, you answered the first one, thank you.
I said that.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to, no, not that I don't know. I somehow suspect you know what you're going to ask. Anyway, say yes, what question?
Clarified a lot of questions I had.
Okay.
Also the swaying, again, because of the Vipassana and a lot of stuff that I've learned also in the class of the Dhammadipa, sometimes I say and I sway and I think I'm actually physically swaying, but I'm not. And when you mentioned that, I said, I often sort of open my eyes and check to see if I'm moving. It's the wind element, but it isn't. It's somewhere inside of me sort of moving back and forth. And you kind of talked about that. So I've had that for the past couple of days, and I've had to sort of go back to the breath, figure out a way to sort of almost stop myself and do the one-pointedness in order to stop myself from
But have you experienced another kind of movements like jumping?
But this way is also very swooshy, almost with the whole sort of body sort of back and forth. So when you mentioned it, I said, oh, that's what's been happening. I didn't know. I should have asked. So kind of makes sense.
Okay, good. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, yes.